Kahalaliyam la Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Racha Kodash. As it is written, let the elders, the rule well, become worthy of double honors, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine, which are the Presbyterian of Great Millstone, beginning of the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders on down. Peace and salutation to all the Yakim of the awful elect. By Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Racha Kodash, Barakatham. Alright, Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father, whom the world anyone calls God. Yahweh means he to be, he is, he exists. Okay, that's the true power of heaven and earth, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. His name is Yahweh. Right, and Yahweh Shai is the true name of his only begotten Son, whom the world ignorantly calls JC. Yahweh Shai means the deliverer, or his savior, or his salvation. That's the King of Kings, the little lords, and the Messiah that came to die for the sins of Israel, beginning with the elect. Okay, his name is Yahweh Shai. And Ruach HaKodesh is the Spirit Holy. These are the names they're supposed to call upon and pray to, especially so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and all among the heathen. They may look like the heathen, but seed line goes back to the patriarchy of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob on your father's side. Shalom, Santa Basharwallah. My name is Gabor of the Election from the Company of Prophets in Toronto, and today is, let's see here, July the 6th. Okay, Monday, July the 6th, another closer to the deliverance of the land of Israel and the destruction of Babylon the Great, aka America, which America and the state of Israel are going to be destroyed with not only destruction, seen in biblical prophecy, because of all the wickedness and all the atrocities that are committed on the earth. But America is going to remain a wilderness, but Israel is going to be rebuilt back up again and restored as the kingdom of heaven, okay, as headquarters of the kingdom of heaven and our Lord Yahweh Shai. This is the truth, man. Going into it, this is a video that on our showcase that the elder brother of my camp, the elder brother Tamam sent to me. Okay, this is like from I seen this actually a couple of days ago from ABC News. Okay, he had basically this family of Edomites that were, they had some children, like ranging from like 18 months to 18 years old of age, okay, locked up in the basement in very deplorable conditions. That goes to show you the wickedness and the evil, okay, of these so-called white men. It's Edom. Okay, and this is not to say that all so-called white people are evil. Okay, because ultimately we know that amongst so-called white people you also have other nations. Okay, mingle amongst them. Okay, even amongst even of our own people. Okay, so it's really the truth of the matter is that like all Edomites, all the people that go back to the man of Israel, Edom, they're all wicked. Okay, they're all evil. They're all vile. They're all deplorable, man. Okay, so just because you're white, it does not mean that you're evil. It's really, it's based on your lineage. Okay, if you go back to man by the name of Esau, that means you're the wicked. Okay, because ultimately Esau Edom, okay, was given the earth pursuant to Book of Job 9:24, and these are the people that are ruling the earth right now as it is. That's why you see all this oppression, all this wickedness that goes on in the earth. That goes unchecked. Okay, and this instant, for example, you have this family. He was grandparents and parents, and he looks like the children that they were being held, might actually be their own children. That goes to show you that this man, his level of wickedness, he has no bounds. He has no, basically, it goes unchecked. Okay, this man, he will do anything and everything, and everything goes to him goes. Okay, even if he has to do with his own children. Okay, even if he has to do with his own, parents. Okay, this man will do a amount of wickedness just because he can, because he is the wicked, the so-called white man. Okay, and the thing about it is like whenever this kind of cases come out, okay, it's always the same people that that are victims. Okay, it's always the same people that are that are to blame. Okay, the people that usually do these kind of things, it always falls on one kind of race of people, and that's so-called white people. That's the truth, man. That's a fact. Okay, so that goes to show you that without the process of elimination, that the so-called white man, okay, primarily he is the wicked of the earth. He is the evil. He is a vile. Okay, he is the devil in human form. You see, the Bible calls the white man the devil. Okay. So go and play this video and then bring up the scriptures according to the topic.
Unfolding in Hamden, Ohio, 16 children have been rescued. Here's Matt Rivers tonight.
Tonight, the disturbing discovery inside.
Turn to a horrific scene unfolding in Hamden, Ohio. 16 children have been rescued. Here's Matt Rivers tonight.
Tonight, the disturbing discovery inside this Ohio home. 16 children rescued from deplorable conditions. Authorities saying they had been held in a 12 by 12 foot area for much of the past 4 years. The youngest just 18 months old.
It's funny how that says 12 by 12 foot area, which like that goes to, that multiplies to 144, you see. But ultimately, it just, that's a number. But the fact of the matter is that this man, he had these children, in such deplorable conditions. They even said that the animals that they had were living in better conditions than the children were, you see.
This is pure evil. What we saw down here today is pure evil.
Law enforcement officers executing a search warrant yesterday, finding 20 members of the Siders family living inside this 1,300 square foot home in the village of Hamden, about 80 miles south of Columbus. The children's mother, father, grandmother, and grandfather placed under arrest, arraigned today on 16 charges of child endangerment.
Did you hear that? It was the children's grandmother, mother, and father. So basically, this was in the family. Let's bring it back again.
16 charges of child endangerment, all pleading not guilty.
Most of our livestock was kept in better conditions than the children.
All pleading not guilty.
Most of our livestock was kept in better conditions than the children. It was extremely high presence of.
So it was actually the parents that had them in these conditions. So that goes to show you that the so-called white man is just pure evil, okay? And you never find it, in any other race, really. Usually the people that do the kind of crimes, it's not black people, so-called. Okay, it's not so-called Japanese. It's not called so-called Chinese. It's not so-called, Hawaiians, okay, or East Indians. It's usually the same, the same culprits, the so-called white men. And this book right here, the book of Job, the 30th chapter, it goes into it. Okay, let's go ahead and get it. So it says that Job 30 was 8 in the KJV. It says they were children of fools, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Let's get it in the AMP, right? So what it says in the AMP right here. It says, so Job 30 was 8 in the AMP. It reads, they are the sons of worthless and nameless fools. You see, they have been driven out of the land. Okay, and that's how really Esau Edom sees life as it is. That's why they don't care about basically they have no morals to a point where anything and everything goes for them, man. Okay, they feel no guilt, no remorse for their actions. Okay, because really deep down they feel like they're worthless because they're being cast out. This goes back to the curse that the Mosai cursed Cain. Okay, that he drove him out of the land, right? Let's go and get it. On their face. Yeah, come right here, beautiful. Genesis 4 verse 14, that's 144. It says, behold, thou hast, start from verse 13. Genesis 4 verse 13 and reads, and Cain said unto the Lord Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, so this is after he had killed his own brother Abel, right? The first murder that was, he killed his own brother Abel. Right? It says verse 14. Behold, thou hast driven me out of this day. Behold, thou hast driven me out of this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. Which read in the book of in the book of Job 30 verse 8. Back again in the AMP, bring it back. It says they are the sons of worthless and nameless fools. They had been driven out of the land. So you see that goes back to man Cain. So he got driven out of the earth. Why why did he do that? Because this man is wicked. They are vile. Okay, they are reprehensible. Okay, they are abominable, man. It says, behold, thou hast driven me out of this day from the face of the earth, right? So it tells you in the book of Job 30, that it says, they cried out of them as of thieves, which you go back and get it. It says, behold, thou hast driven me out of this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. So ultimately, the Most High had to put a hedge upon Esau, okay, to basically have it to where Esau Edom was not wiped out. Okay, but ultimately, Esau Edom, he's been chased out of all the land that there's been in. This is the truth, man. Let's go and get this book of Job 30, right? Verse 5. Say Job 30 verse 5, and it says they were driven forth from among the men. You see, so this goes back to the like in Genesis, how it tells you that the God cast out the Most High. They cast out the face of the Most High, right? It says they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. Okay, and that's the truth, man. And that's specifically also for the so-called Amalekites. In the Google, let's go get this in the Google. Okay, let's look this up. Try this way. Or expelled, rather. It says how many countries type in Google, says how many countries have Israeli been evicted. It says there is no definitive or historical agreed upon number, while a widely circulated anti-Shem myth falsely claims that Jews have been expelled from exactly 109 countries. Historians and Anti-Defamation League identity this is fabricated. But this is actually the truth. Okay, I just read the book of Job, where it says that they were driven forth from among men. So basically, you have all these other countries, that would, witness their wickedness. Okay, witness their atrocities. Okay, and basically that this so-called Amalek, the so-called JWOs, they partake in this kind of madness. Okay, that's why it came out a couple of years ago. Like those tunnels that were found in Brooklyn. Those tunnels that were found in Brooklyn, and they had like all these like baby paraphernalia, baby bags, like high chairs. Okay, they were all found underground. You see, so that's what these people are about. These things that they commit. Okay, this is part of their culture. This is part of who they are. So it says they were driven forth from among men. They cried out to them as after a thief. That's also another thing too that Esau Edom is guilty of. Okay, it tells in the book of John 10 verse 10. The thief cometh not but steal and kill and to destroy. And that's exactly what Esau's legacy is. Okay, stealing, destroying, okay, and killing, right? Ultimately, everywhere that Esau goes, he steals the land. That's what it starts with. It robs the land of the people. Okay, and then it takes away its resources from the land. Okay, and then he puts the people in slavery of the land. So this man, that's him killing, destroying, and stealing, right? So it was sticks to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in the caves of the earth, in the rocks. And this happened during the the so-called Dark Ages, when they were literally driven into the Caucasus Mountains, into the Caucasus mountains of Georgia, Russia, to dwell there. Okay, and they lived there for a period of 1,000 years. Okay, they had no language, they had no communication skills. They had no any morals. Okay, but basically they living like beasts, right? It says verse 7, among the bushes they brayed. Like it says, under the nettles they were gathered together. Okay, let's actually go ahead and get this in the AMP. Okay, let's go ahead and get this in the AMP, right? Yeah, start from verse 6. Yeah, John 30 verse 6. The AMP says they are driven from the community. They said that they are driven from the community. They shout out to them as a thief. They must dwell on the slopes, wadis, and in holes in the grounds and in rocks. Among the bushes, they cry out like wild animals. Okay, so that's why, because the Mosai took away, they have no speech. Okay, they literally got brought down to a level of a beast. Okay, it says beneath the prickle scrub, they gathered and huddled together. Right, they are the sons of worthless and nameless fools. It tells in scripture that the fool has to have said that there's no God. That's ultimately what Esau Edom is guilty of too. Esau Edom, is guilty of pushing that, what's the word there? Theist, right? Not theist, but atheist. Esau push that atheist belief. Where they believe that there's no God. The number one atheist person in the world is so-called white man. Okay, and that goes also back to the curse that the Most High cursed them. Okay, that the Most High basically cursed them to be driven from his face, right? So therefore, Esau Edom does not believe, or that he has no fear of the Most High, right? Because among beneath the prickly scrub, they gather and huddle together. They are sons of worthless and nameless fools. They have been driven out of the land, and now have I become the subject of their taunting. Yeah, I'm a byword and a laughing stock to them. See, so that's ultimately what Esau Edom is. Okay, and now whenever Jake does anything, right? They always try to they always try to nobody Jake does anything wrong in the news, it gets blown up. But this stuff, this news didn't come out on CNN. This actually only came out on to go to show you that this man is being exposed, man. This man, he is the vile, he is wicked, right? Let's bring it back here.
We aren't manufacturing the future of energy. We've identified the source.
The stuff of nightmares allegedly hidden behind the doors of this simple Ohio home.
This is pure evil. What we saw down here today is pure evil.
16 children, ranging from 18 months to 18 years old, were pulled out of what authorities are calling a house of horrors. Conditions inside described as deplorable.
Our livestock was kept in better conditions than the children.
4 adults arrested.
Look at that. Actually, grab it. It's my use for the thumbnail of the video. These are the culprits right here. And who do you see? Nine Edomites, right? Straight up Edomites. There's actually one of the videos that I've seen. I seen one of the, yesterday when I was watching the internet news, there was one of the girls that they showed in the news on the victims. Okay, she had those so-called panda eyes. Now, if you don't think about panda eyes, okay, that's a sign of trauma. Okay, that's a big sign of trauma. To the especially for children, right? Basically, they cry so much where they cry so much to where the eyes pop out, right? And this man, this man had these children in this condition. So imagine, what about you other people? Okay, people are not even his own, right?
Now charged.
All of those counts are felonies of the second degree.
73-year-old Gary Siders and his 36-year-old son appeared together on camera for their arraignment today.
We'll be right with you.
Then 67-year-old Christina Siders and 33-year-old Elizabeth Siders appeared by video, sitting side by side.
Grandma.
That's typical of Esau Edom. He never finds any. He's always not guilty. Okay, he's always trying to find an excuse for his wickedness, right? This tells you, that they hold themselves not guilty in the scriptures, right? That's how he is. Some 75. It talks about how they don't hold themselves guilty, right? That's really his mantra. That's his that's where he sees things. Basically, he feels like he can do anything and should be able to get away with it, right?
Grandpa, father, and mother at this point. That's what we know.
All 4 adults charged with 16 counts of endangering children and being held on $300,000 bond each. They all pled not guilty.
The Siders are facing anywhere from 16 to 128 years in prison.
So they all play not guilty. You see, even though the evidence is stacked against them, man, it's obvious to say that these people are guilty. But to them, they see no wrongdoing in this, right? So again, let's finish it off. Second Thessalonians 2 verse 8. Yeah, and it reads, and then shall the wicked be revealed. Right, Psalm 7 says, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. What's the mystery of iniquity? The so-called white man. He's a mystery that people can't seem to figure out, that this man is the devil, that this man is the wicked. Okay, but yet all the evidence points to him, right? It says only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. The Most High is the one that's basically holding up, going back to the hedge that the Most High gave unto Cain. Okay, he put a hedge about him so that the people will not so that he will not be wiped out. Because ultimately the Most High is saving him for last. Verse 8 and reads, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahweh Shai shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. The spirit of his mouth is the prophets, the men of the Lord, and shall destroy with the burdens of his coming. Right, the Most High is going to come. The Lord Yahweh Shai is going to come and destroy this man. Take him out of power, and ultimately put him. Put chains about him and put him in slavery and bring him back, Lord, to where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, a slave. It's supposed to be, under chains. Because this man, this man has no right to be ruling, to be in power, man. You see, this man is the reason why everything is out of course, right? Verse 9 reads, even him who is coming is after the working of Satan, right, with all powers and the signs and lying wonders, and with all the deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they may be saved. Okay, so it says, whose coming is after the working of Satan. The work that this man does on the earth is nothing but demonic, devilish, okay, pure evil, right? Pure, detestable, deplorable evil, man. You see, so that's why it needs to be taken out. Okay, yeah, man, right? See here. Yo, must keep some clothes up. Mark 1 verse 4. Mark 1 verse 3, and it reads, says, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons and for the wilderness. Okay, that's actually what's going to become for America. America is going to turn into a desert. Okay, America is going to turn into a complete destruction. Okay, once America gets destroyed by the ICBM missiles. Okay, but these are hypersonic missiles, those intercontinental ballistic missiles. America's going to be destroyed. It's going to be utterly turned into wilderness, right? Then you'll have desert creatures dwelling in America. This is verse 3. Verse 4 says, says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shai of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. Okay, and they came back in the so-called Renaissance to rebuild back, their Rome, the second leg of Rome, but now it's coming to an end. Okay, right now we are in the 250th year of America, and this place is destined for destruction. As you can see, okay, every day that goes by, it goes closer to these people losing their minds, okay, losing the grip on sanity. These people are going crazy, man, because this place is vexing. This place is a vexing spirit. It's full of wicked people, right? It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw it down, and they shall call them the born of wickedness. That's Esau, Edom, a so-called white man, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh hath indignation forever. The Most High is not gonna, stop his hatred towards you Edomites. Okay, and same thing with us. Okay, Edomites, you cannot have to pay for all this wickedness they have done. The Most High is going to definitely recompense you. He's going to put you in your place. Okay, like these two are. Okay. So the Udam going to them and say, brought Hawa Shai, and I said, come Sharwala, a Baba Ball, and Shlam elect. Shalom Akim, Shalom.